Hey guys, it's the Farming Cuber, and today I'm going to be making my Q&A video. So just so you know, I might do another one of these in the future. So if you have any more questions for me, please leave them in the comments below this video. And with that out of the way, let's get into the Q&A. So our first question comes from Cody H, and he is asking, what is your best time record? And I'm assuming you're talking about 3x3 here, and my PB, personal best for 3x3 is 12.58 seconds, which I set back in, I think, January or February, so it's been a while since I've broken my 3x3 PB. Suspense Fiction asks, how have you been doing lately? I've been doing pretty okay. Quarantine, staying at home a lot, going on my phone more than I'd like to admit, and going fishing quite a bit. So, Jerome Cabaris has a bunch of questions for me to answer, and that is, how many cubes do I currently have? I currently have 38 cubes, and that includes the 33 from my collection video, the 4 from my last unboxing, and a ghost cube, which I actually just bought today as I'm recording this. How many cubes do you want to have? That one's a pretty tough question to answer because, well, you kind of just... Well, there's always that one puzzle that you want, and you don't know if you're ever going to get it or not, but there's always that one puzzle that everybody wants to have in their collection. What is your favorite event? 3x3. What events haven't I participated in or haven't gotten into yet? So, I have participated in every WCA event. Well, at home anyway. I have at least attempted every WCA event except for FMC, 3 blind, and then multi-blind and 4 and 5 blind. Everything else I know I can do, but those ones I haven't really tried or gotten into yet. I've been trying to get into 3 blind for over a year now, and it hasn't really worked. I haven't gotten a successful 3 blind solve, but I did get a bunch of... I can do some 2x2 blindfolded stuff. But yeah, and then I did try 3x3 with feet probably twice. How many cubers do I currently know? That is a pretty tough question to answer, and I'm probably not going to be able to answer it right now. I don't know if I'd be able to answer it at all, but I know probably somewhere in the ballpark of, or cubers I've met, probably somewhere in the ballpark of, I'd say 25 to 30, and how many cubers do I actually know? Probably somewhere around 10 to 20. What advice would you give to anyone who is new to cubing? I would say just perseverance. Most people, when they watch a tutorial on how to solve a cube, they quit basically right away because it's too novel and it's complicated, and it's not that it's complicated, but it's different. It's not something that you normally do in life. So perseverance, in my opinion, is the number one thing that I would say to give to people new into cubing. The other thing I would say to new cubers, just for some basic advice, would be to practice. And if you're like me, and it took you 9 months to get sub 45, then you should probably look into some techniques, record your solves, and see how you're doing. But for most people, you should just be able to practice, and you'll be just fine. What first thing would you do if you got a new puzzle besides turning it and stuff? For example, square one, would you learn how to solve it with tutorials or try solving it without tutorials? I would find the cube that I look into, and I would just take a look at tutorials and walkthrough solves of it. Example, the ghost cube, which I have sitting on the table next to me. That I looked up a whole bunch of walkthrough solves for when I first got it, and just trying to learn how the puzzle works from seeing other people turn it. I did the same thing with square one. I did the same thing with Scube. or actually with Scube, what I did is I just went ahead and started turning it. But for most of my other cubes in my collection, I'd either seen videos on that, or I had, they were just bigger versions of puzzles I already had, so I already knew how to turn them. So, and then I do look up tutorials for my puzzles. Do I cube or practice every day or whenever I want to? I don't really have a practicing schedule. I just kind of do it whenever I feel like it. What is your favorite puzzle in my entire collection? I couldn't tell you. I'd say that the ones that I really like the most would probably be the Little Magic Square 1 and the MGC 5x5 and the Tangyun V1 3x3. Do you think the WCA should cancel all the competitions during the pandemic because there is an online comp mostly everywhere? So this one, in my opinion, I think that the WCA did the absolute right thing and canceled the competitions. I was going to go to Sioux Falls Spring 2020 on April the 25th. I was planning on vlogging it and having a video out for my channel in the spring, but that didn't happen, and it was kind of a good thing that it didn't happen, because right when that competition was supposed to happen, Sioux Falls had a massive COVID outbreak. They had a massive outbreak of COVID-19 cases, and it was really, really, really bad when that competition was supposed to take place. It was right about when it peaked. Do I prefer stickered or stickerless cubes? I mostly prefer stickerless cubes for the most part. There was a time when I preferred stickered cubes, and that's when I got cubes like the Valk Power, Yuexiao Pro, and the Wingy. Those are all stickered because I just like the look of stickered puzzles back then, but I prefer stickerless now. So, Jerome and the Rubik's Rubric asked, what do I main? So, for 2x2, I main the YJ MGC version 1. For 3x3, I main the Diane Tangyun version 1. For 4x4, I main the Chi Thunderclap. For 5x5, I main the YJ MGC. For 6x6, I main the Yushin Little Magic. For 7x7, I main the YJ Ruifu. For Pyraminx, I just kind of have a Cuban Classroom Pyraminx. It's nothing special. I've needed to upgrade it forever. For Megaminx, I usually go to the Chi-Heng, the Chi-Heng S, Sculpted Megaminx. For Square 1, I go to the Little Magic Square 1. For Scube, if I didn't say it already, I go for the Wingy. For Clock, I have the Lingow. And for one-handed, I usually go for the Tengen version 1 as well. However, whenever I do 3x3 blindfolded solves, I tend to use my Yuexiao Pro. So the next question comes from A Gamer, and he is asking, are you corny like me? And I would have to say yes to that question. I don't really see any other possible answers to that. And the last question comes from Ahem Cubing, and he is wondering, what is your favorite animal? Now, it's kind of hard to decide what my favorite animal is. I've always kind of liked cats. I've been more of a cat person. Dogs are pretty good too, but the one that has really kind of caught my interest lately would be fish, just because I find it cool that they just live underwater. I know that sounds incredibly mundane, but it's just kind of mysterious what goes on under the surface of a lake or a river or even the ocean. And insects, too, I found pretty cool starting in the spring when we learned about the phyla in biology for my biology class. I had to learn about that, and I found arthropods, and in particular insects, very, very cool. So that wraps up my Q&A. If you guys have any more questions, leave them in the comments, and I might get to answering them in a future video. And until then, stay corny. and I will see you in my next video.